the time since my last video, and I wanted to really like address that today. So, first things first, one of the like greatest, one of the great traders that I'm surrounded by and like that I've come to know like a little more personally. One of the things that he said that stuck with me a lot. He actually said it recently to me, or not to me, but just like in general, and just that has helped me look through this whole month and take something away from it is routines are the best thing that you can have as a trader if you want to improve and if you want to take it seriously. Because I came into this month, I had all these goals, I had all these things that I said that I wanted to do. Right, I wanted to trade, do this, do this, do this, do this. I had all these things, but I didn't have a plan for them. Like I had all these scattered ideas and all these things I wanted to do, but I didn't make time to do them, or I didn't give myself dedicated time to like actually do those things. I didn't make myself actually do them. So that's why I think you guys have seen it. I faltered on a lot of those things. Like I don't get up on the trades at the same time every day, or I don't have videos coming out constantly because I didn't. And that's my fault, obviously. And it's great to be able to figure this out now because I wanted to take this month to set myself up to go into next year, a better trader than I was in November and October. So yeah, understanding that routines and systems are something that can hugely tremendously benefit you as a trader is something that took me a long time to learn. And I think that this month, because I expected so much from it, and we did get some done, but it's not in the way that I would have wanted to, and not in the way that I envisioned it coming to this month. So yeah, that's gonna be the first thing. So obviously, with that being said, today I just want to come up with an actual routine that is going to not only be a benefit to me as a trader, but just going forward, it's going to be able to just be used like compoundingly to actually improve not only as a trader but in other aspects. So a lot of the time, and I feel like this can apply to a lot of people, especially if you're in a very similar like situation to me, where like I wake up. I'm actually a morning person. I wake up at like 5 o'clock, pretty consistently every morning, but I don't do anything with that. The most successful people in the world, when they wake up early, right? There are successful people that wake up early, and there are losers who wake up early, and there are people who don't do anything with their lives to wake up early. And the difference between those two people is that the successful people understand that the first hour you're awake and the first 60 to 90 minutes you're awake are some of the most productive minutes of your day, right? That's the most productive hour of your whole day. And if you don't use it correctly, then you're just wasting time. Because if you wake up at 5 and someone else wakes up at 5 and they're working and you're just doing nothing, then who do you think is going to get more done? I mean, an hour a day every day for a whole year is 365 hours for a whole year. And I've been not using that hour productively. I mean, I'll wake up at 5, but if I don't do anything with that 5 o'clock, then it doesn't do anything, right? I'll wake up, check my phone, sit on my phone for half an hour, and then go downstairs and do nothing. Like if I'm not using that 1 hour in the morning as productively as I can, and I'm not giving myself, I think that's another big thing that I'm not doing. Like I'm not planning these things out ahead, and I don't give myself what am I going to do as soon as I wake up, because you can't plan that out as the day goes. You can't plan out your first hour of your day as soon as you wake up that morning, right? You got to plan it out the day before. You got to plan it out a week before. You got to have a schedule and a routine to build off of, so that every morning when you do wake up, I already know what I'm doing. I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go do this, and then you can plan out the rest of your day following that. So for the first hour, and I've done a little bit of research with this, and I'll probably do more research and keep you guys updated. But I'm probably gonna start just with like not checking my phone, keeping my phone somewhere else, except for as an alarm. But I'm not gonna be on it, not gonna be checking it. The only thing I'll probably be using it for is just an alarm, and then I'll get some water. Hydrating early in the morning is a very good habit to build, and then stretching or doing some type of physical exercise. So I want to start my first hour in the morning, 30 minutes of stretching, 30 minutes of cardio, and then obviously hydration throughout. So yeah, so from 5 to 5:30, that's basically just gonna be all stretching, all warming up, and then from 5:35 onward until 6, that's just gonna be a block for running or any type of like cardio indoors, just to get that heart rate good at the beginning of the day. Start that day off with some steps, get some get some type of exercise in the morning. So from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with this block yet. I could either dedicate it to like a gym session, so I might go to the gym from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, or I might just do it to build on another skill. I might do it to just have another skill building exercise, but I think that I'm going to just build off of that cardio and just put it into like a gym session. So 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock is what I'm thinking right now, and I might refine this later on. But I think I'm just gonna have it be a gym session, because having a strong body and having that discipline to be able to go to the gym every single day, and be consistently productive with your actual habits outside of trading, that carries over. Like, my best days trading are when I'm doing other stuff to keep me disciplined and focused on my long, because my long-term goal is not just to be successful as a trader and suck at everything else, right? Like, I don't want to be a successful trader, because you can't. There's no trader on earth who is successful in trading and like sucks at everything else. And having a strong body and a strong mind at at that younger age, especially when your habits start to build up when you're younger, that's my biggest one of my biggest priorities right now. So that's probably going to be my 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock block in my day. So from 7 o'clock to 8, and this is about an hour before I start to trade. One of the biggest recommendations that the trader that I mentioned before, he recommends meditating like about 30 minutes before you start, get on the charts. So from 7:30 to 8, I'll probably be meditating. From 7 o'clock to 7:30, and obviously this is not a finished product, so obviously I'm not 100% in either direction. But what I'm thinking is that we just like read a psychology book, read 10 pages of do whatever, right? Just do something productive, right? Or that might just be my first, phone check of the day. Like that 7 o'clock to 7:30, going to the gym, done my cardio, done whatever. That might just be, my check in with you guys, posting on Instagram, and then, go back to work. So either of those, I could really see myself doing. But yeah, from 8 to 9, that's usually my pre-market session. I'll get in, check key levels, check, the previous session liquidity. I'll check, markets, fundamentals. That's, where I'm a little bit consistent, not really, because I do it on the days where I am planning to trade, but on the days where I'm not planning to trade. And I think I need to make a distinction of like, even if I'm not planning to trade, get on the charts anyway. Just look for, moves or just certain things on the charts that, you want to be looking for. So that's going to be 8 to 9, and then obviously 9 to like 11 o'clock is just going to be actual trading, being in the markets. So anytime between there, that's when I'm taking my trades. So it's going to wrap up today's video. Obviously, there's still, a lot more hours left in the day, but I'm going to leave that to, actually planning that out and doing more research into what to do with the later hours of the day. So with that, that's the end of the video. So.